Please welcome Toya Jackson. Sit in the Queen's chair there.
Thank you. Hello. You look fantastic.
Why, thank you.
Yes. I have a
So
little
do
green
you
on
guys.
like you. I love it. I'm sort of
Oh,
matching
the green.
with
You guys both look great. I'm in a lucky spot here.
You are.
No, I love the show. I love it. I love watching it. It's so informative. I was telling the other doctors that backstage. Great show.
Well, thank you.
Don't you guys learn a lot from this show?
That's awesome. Now, what have you been up to lately? You've been on The Apprentice, right?
Yeah, I have. I'm doing The Apprentice again. It's the All-Star season with all the stars that have done it once before. So we've done that. We've wrapped that. And I'm doing Life with Toya, my own show on the Oprah Winfrey Network.
Wow.
So that's great. I'm loving that. That's so much fun.
You are busy.
Yeah.
And Toya, one of the reasons we wanted to have you come on the show is because your own father had a recent health scare of his own.
Yeah, he did. He had a stroke. But he thought it was just a stroke, but he didn't know what it was actually, but it was 3. Once they did the thing when the CAT scan, and it was 3 strokes that he had right there, and he didn't know what was going on, and he was kind of defiant in a sense that he couldn't move. He couldn't get out of bed. He couldn't move. He couldn't move his arms. He couldn't move anything, actually.
Did he speak?
And so, yeah, he was able to speak. He made a phone call for someone to come over. He didn't want to go, and finally he opened the door for the person he had called to come and get him and see if he's okay, and he fell right there. He just went to the ground, not completely falling, but just almost, and that's when he says, no, I'm taking you to the hospital. He says, no, I'll be fine, I'll be fine. And a lot of times we do that too often, and we don't realize that we do need help, and we're not okay, and don't be embarrassed to say that you're sick or that you need medical help or attention or need to go to the hospital for that fact.
And let's use your dad as a great example, because a lot of people, particularly men, will say, I'm fine, I'm fine. And I'm going to talk in a minute about the symptoms that you should look out for, but I can't tell you how many times in the emergency department I will hear family members say, well, you know, Dad wasn't feeling well last night. He couldn't move his right arm, and he was having trouble talking, but we just thought he'd sleep it off.
Okay.
And time is brain, and if someone's having a stroke, and I'm going to explain to everyone what's happening in stroke. If someone's having a stroke, they need treatment right then and there, especially if it's what's known as an ischemic stroke. So there's 2 types of strokes. There's ischemic strokes and hemorrhagic strokes. What's happening here in this ischemic stroke is the blood supply is blocked by a clot. And when that occurs, the entire area of blood flow beyond that clot, you don't get oxygen. So this entire area of the brain can die. And it's over a matter of hours. So if you get to the hospital soon enough, in some cases, clot-busting drugs can be given. There's a lot of controversy over this, but at a minimum, there are things that can be done to hopefully minimize the damage. Now, in a hemorrhagic stroke, things are a little bit different. In a hemorrhagic stroke, instead of a clot forming, the blood vessel may actually burst, and you literally have hemorrhage, and due to all that blood not flowing where it's supposed to go, but flowing in other areas, you don't get blood flow to this entire area of the brain, so this area of the brain dies. And what's so interesting about strokes is depending upon where your brain is not receiving blood flow, that's where your symptoms come into play. So what I tell people at home to do is do some simple things. Ask your loved one to smile. Look for an asymmetric smile, a facial droop. I will tell them to ask their loved one to say a quick phrase like, you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Okay.
Because speech can be very difficult for people who are having a stroke. And you can also have them, just if they can stand up, hold their arms out, and you might see an arm drift, or you might notice that they're about to fall, they've lost, because losing your balance, losing coordination, visual changes, dizziness, weakness, numbness. What's key is if these are new symptoms and they weren't there before and they're there now, it's very likely a stroke.
Best thing to do is pick him up and get him to the hospital, which is what you did.
Immediately, yes.
How is he doing now? Is he okay?
I just spoke to him just before walking out here, and he's doing a lot better, and I'm very happy that he is.
Oh, that's
really
Send him
doing
our
well.
best if you
I
can.
certainly will. I certainly will do that. Thank you.